Hello, y'all. This is Sets with Chief. Happy Sunday. I'm blessed to be here. And today I want to talk about the fact or the reasons why being an independent contractor has favored me so much and why it's so much better than being an employee. Please, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, share, leave your comments. And guys, let us get to it, okay? All right. So if you are new to my content, I am a narcissistic abuse survivor. I escaped 2 years ago in 2023. I escaped my narcissistically abusive marital. Oh, sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to adjust my camera. It tried to fall, but we'll steady it. I escaped my narcissistically abusive marriage with three teenagers. So now I'm raising three teenagers by myself with the help of God and Christ. I'm a strong believer in Christ and that He is the reason why I'm still here and thriving and moving forward. Okay. So I currently run an independent contractor. Um, I currently run um, two apps as an independent contractor. I do DoorDash, I do Roadie, um, and I actually have a guide teaching you exactly how I was able to go from leaving nursing to where I am today, making over $1,000 a week just with my independent contractor gig, okay, with my apps, okay, and a lot of weeks I'm able to do that very, very seamlessly, okay. So the guide has 72 different apps. If you're interested in getting started state-wise in the US, you can get started. And I also run other businesses. I have a notary, a mobile notary business, a mobile hair business, and then I make money also online. So when people purchase my course, I have the multiple streams masterclass bundle teaching you how I'm able to make what I make each week, each month, doing all the things that I do. Okay, so this is something that anybody can get started. You can get started right away. Okay, so I'm going to leave the link to the multiple stream masterclass bundle. It's only $49.99. Okay, but guys, let's get to it. Why is being an independent contractor so much easier and so much better than working as an employee? Okay, so I was working as an employee in healthcare and nursing to be exact, and I was very, very frustrated. I felt like I had no life. Like I literally felt like every day I woke up, I literally felt like just going back to sleep. Like I didn't want to do anything. I didn't even want to play with my children. That's when I knew that like it was everything was going down. I felt like I was depressed. I literally was depressed. And my antidote for that depression was actually going ahead and leaving cold turkey. But I don't think I left cold turkey per se. So before I left nursing, I had I had started doing DoorDash. So I would do it like on my during my free time when I was off. Okay. And that kind of got like the ball rolling, and that kind of got me um used to making money on my own without like having to depend on a paycheck. So I did it for about 3 years. So I left nursing in 2020, and I started working as a independent contractor with DoorDash. I had started Uber Eats, but I got deactivated. So I started doing DoorDash. And at a point after I left nursing, I was doing like several, there was a time I was doing like five or six at a time. I was doing Roadie, DoorDash. Then actually, Roadie was like a little bit later on. But I was doing like things like Instacart and Grubhub and DoorDash, and I would multi-app, to try to get the most income. Especially when I left the nursing, I really wanted to try to max out my income, and then I also went back to doing hair. So you might not be someone that is able to do braids. That might not be your talent, and that might not be your passion. But you might have something else that you're able to do, and whatever it is that you're able to do and you can make money, apart from that. So I really love I really love the fact that there's so many apps now that are basically middleman apps. Okay, so a middleman app is basically like a DoorDash. They're all middlemen. DoorDash is a middleman because it DoorDash does not actually go and buy restaurants, so that they can be able to service customers with catering. No, DoorDash does not own the customers. I'm sorry, DoorDash does not own the platform. I mean the restaurants, right? So DoorDash only owns the platform, okay? DoorDash owns the platform. The same with Instacart. Instacart does not own any grocery stores, okay? Instacart does not own any cars or does not have like any garage whereby they park cars and then they dispatch drivers to get the cars. No, all they have is the platform, okay? Which and the platform is what I call the joining point where the customer and the service providers meet. Okay, so because they have the platform, YouTube is a middleman. Okay, because they have the platform, and if you are part of the revenue share, maybe you got monetized on YouTube. And by the way, that's another way I'm able to make money. Like last month, I was able to get 200. I reached my threshold. I think the threshold is like $100. So I reached my threshold. So I was able to get $200, and got paid out on the 21st. I think they paid me out on the 21st. By the 22nd, I got my money, okay, via wire transfer. So there's so many ways now, guys, that you are able to make that money. Okay, if you're someone that you have that, you have that calling for entrepreneurship, and you find that you've been trapped in your 9 to 5, I'm here to tell you that there is no reason why in 2025 you're trapped. Okay, because there's so many ways that you can make money. Okay, I've been able to um, derive so much money, and freedom, okay, from the service based industry model. Okay, even though I worked mostly as the independent contractor, I also had my own businesses. I have an LLC. Okay, so I opened my LLC. Now, you don't have to have an LLC to start. Okay, if you have that talent, maybe you know how to do nails. Like I just painted my nails, myself. Okay. And well, with me, my nails always come off like when I paint my nails, it doesn't last. So I have to do like a different system, like with the powder and stuff, but it's still my nail, and but there's some people that have that talent. They're able to do others. A lot of, women want that artificial, with the length and all of that, you know. You're able to do that and do it well, be artistic with it, and do it professionally. There's people that you can be a mobile nail tech. You don't even have to have a shop. Okay, if you have customers that you built over maybe the years, maybe family, friends, you can start with family and friends. You know, start doing your auntie. Let her give you some. Tell her this is how much you charge. Maybe make it a little bit less at first. When you're kind of still getting your clientele together, and then once you start getting more established, increase your price. Okay, there's so many different ways that you can make money. Okay, so I have my LLC, where all my businesses basically I run them like around like services. So when it comes tax time, I just do them as services. So I have a mobile notary business. That's a service. So I put that as a service. And then my hair business, I put that as another service, putting my expenses and and all the things, my income, right? So you can, but you don't have to start that way, but it just makes you organize, and during tax time it makes things easier, so you can put in all the things that you did. Then being an independent contractor is another thing that I do, right? So but honestly, if you're someone that is looking to quit your 9 to 5, because of the fact that there's so many apps now, if you have a decent driving record, there's so many apps that you can use to be able to make money. Okay, you don't have to be stuck. You know, you just, I mean, the great thing about those middleman apps is that they're the ones bringing the customers for you. Like if I turn on my DoorDash right now, or check into my Roadie app, there's all I have to do is just wait to see where the offers are. When the offers come up, if I'm interested, if it makes sense to me for the mileage and the distance, I can pick it up and get started and just go and pick it up, right? So with the independent contractor, right? You are working as the service or the ISP, which is the independent service provider for these platforms. Okay, so they do the job of getting the customers into the platform, right? And so they're already doing the advertising. So they advertise for the independent contractors. So for one way or the other, if you have heard about that platform, and you're interested, you can go ahead and join. That's the reason why I have all the different apps. I have 72 different apps you can get started with, all in my stand store. Okay, but they're all part of the multiple stream masterclass bundle, so you don't have to buy separate ones. I made everything just all compressed into one. Okay, so whether you want to do um become an independent contractor with your car, making money with your car, that to me that's the easiest. You can get approved within like maybe a week or so, maybe depending by state or whatever, but really quickly. If you have a car that you use, I mean, it's like, why not let that car be an asset as well? A lot of people say, well, what about my mileage? What about wear and tear? Your car's going to wear and tear. As a matter of fact, your car depreciates as soon as you leave the parking lot. Okay, it depreciates. You can't charge the same amount for that car a week or even a day after you leave that car lot. So why not take advantage and at least make money and see that car as a tool? I don't see my car as um oh, a I as a matter of fact, I see my car a as an asset, something that brings me money. I have a pickup truck and then I have a minivan. Okay, so you can, I believe in using the tools that you already have, you know and then building on it. When you're an employee, a lot of times it does not allow you to even have the mindset, because the stress, especially in certain types of professions like with nursing, it does not give you the leeway, to be able to break out. It does not give you the leeway to be able to do more, because you're so stressed out. You're thinking about your patient. You're thinking about, what the query you might get when you get to work. Maybe they might have found some wound that you didn't even know about. Just all kinds of crazy stuff going on. You're never settled. Sometimes even on your off day, they're trying to call you back. So it's like you never ever really have that time to be able to, and you need that open space in your mind, in your life, to be able to think out of the box. But they cloud you so much, and they give you that paycheck. They call it the golden handcuffs, right. So they give you that paycheck that keeps you in bondage, right. So a lot of people cannot think outside the box. You see them 10, 20 years. um I've seen videos of people on YouTube in their 50s, 60s, that got fired after 20 years of service to a company. So I don't think that this is, especially like in this new age, this new time that we're in, it's not, you should not be devoted fully to any job or any you know company. you know Always thinking about what you can do to make side hustle, or side business, that you can keep watering, like a plant, that can become a full tree, you know and can service your life, pay your bills, take care of your car, take care, if you want to buy another car, you can, right. So it's like, because a lot of times these jobs, they treat you like a side piece, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth, that they can just dump you anytime. you know After 20, 12, 15 years of service, that you gave your all, you sacrificed time with your family, you sacrificed time, for yourself. You got older faster because of the stress. Your health has gone down. A lot of times you have aches and pains, that you can never, like, pretty much, it's like you're stuck with this. I mean, they've sucked like basically the best years out of your life. you know some people don't even see their kids because of their jobs. It does not have to be that way, guys. It does not have to be that way, especially in this day and age. You can start from somewhere. I started as an independent contractor, okay, and I still do it to this day. I can make money on any day with any of my apps. That's a blessing. If one day activates you, you can start another one. That's the reason why I always say have more than one, right? You know, but you start with one, you stick to it, you learn it, you learn the times, you learn um the pickups, you learn the wait times, you learn a whole lot about it, and then when you're comfortable with it, you can add another one. But nobody has to be stuck, okay? The most important thing for me is time, and time freedom. Being able to have that time that I can spend with my kids if I want to, right? If there's something going on, or maybe they have a um, some kind of, like my youngest, she's very active. She sometimes she has something like maybe a play or something that she's part of. I can say, hey, listen, I can take this time between this time and go to your school and, and join. Or, it's a Sunday, they're part of like some kind of like, dance team or something. We can go. I don't have to worry about, oh, well, I'm working every other weekend. This weekend I'm working. So sorry, guys, I can't be part of your play, or I can't be part of, it's like, especially as a mother, it is so important, to me, to be able to be part of their lives, because this time I can never get back. There's going to be a time that they're not going to need me anymore, right? Not in the same way, so I don't want to, I don't want to live my life in regret, so to me, time freedom is so much more important than money, you know, and working as an independent contractor, being an entrepreneur, it's all like, I feel like it all wraps up in itself, because you're getting knowledge, you have that time freedom, you have that flexibility, so you can always add something else to it. My newest business is my middleman business. Okay, I run a middleman cleaning business. If you see my car, I have a sign, with my number. Okay, I got a tracking number, so that tracking number is not my actual phone number, but it forwards to my phone number. Okay, it forwards to my number, so I'm able to receive the calls from the people that see my sign, and they reach out to me. I can do Craigslist ads, whatever it is, or word of mouth. Hey, do you know someone that needs cleaning? I offer cleaning services. And the great thing about it is that it's residual, right? So if somebody likes your service, they divide with the service or whatever. I don't do the cleaning myself. It's a middleman cleaning business. So I'm doing what DoorDash does. I'm doing the marketing, for these service providers, right? And then once I get the customers, I just dispatch the customers to the service providers in my area, right? And they're happy to do the job. They do the job every day, right? So I take my cut from booking the customers, and then they do the rest. I mean, they get the rest of the money once they finish the service. So the customer pays me to book, just like if you're trying to book a reservation to a hotel, there's a booking fee. The same, a lot of hair businesses, you drop in a booking fee, maybe on their website or whatever, and when you get to the place, you pay, after they're done or whatever. So it's all the same, right? So you learn all these different tactics. A lot of people, they want to break out of the 9 to 5, but they don't know how. Excuse me, they're stuck. They don't know how. So I'm telling you that there is a way. Whether you're in healthcare, or you feel like you're in a dead end field, like there's no breaking out. There is a way, okay? But you just have to keep your eyes open. You have to be able to invest in yourself, invest in some knowledge, and a lot of the knowledge you can get for free. But you just have to, when you get it for free, a lot of times, you get it from different sources. You have to piece everything together. So if you have that time, you can, but if you're looking to just get everything in one place, you can purchase a course. That's why I have my multiple stream masterclass bundle. You can get started. You can buy only $49.99 for less than a third of a cart of groceries. You can have a whole bunch of businesses. You can, everything is all in your palm of your hand, but it's all a matter of changing your mindset, breaking out of that security mindset, or because there is no such thing as security. And a lot of people have found out the hard way, when they're fired cold turkey, and they have to start from scratch, and a lot of times they're even close to retirement, and then they have to piece all their life back together. Don't be that person. Okay. So you know build yourself, build your businesses, so that way nobody can fire you. You become unemployable. You become free, ultimately, because the only thing that you can never get back, you can get back money, you might be able to get back a house, but you can never get back time. Once the time comes and goes, it is what it is. Okay, so invest in yourself, love yourself, and choose yourself. Okay, choose life, choose freedom. Okay, choose to break out of the whole status quo, of depending on the boss or depending on somebody else, to fund your life, because it can be a very dangerous game, especially when you have dependents, you have children depending on you. You don't want to be that person. I'm not saying just quit your 9 to 5 cold turkey like I did. I really didn't. As a matter of fact, I really didn't quit cold turkey because I already had started something before I quit. So, but either way, once you have the knowledge and you've gotten the knowledge by this kind of video and other videos on YouTube and other platforms, you take action, because just getting the knowledge is not enough. Taking action on that knowledge, is what actually separates you from everybody else. Okay, so again, this is set to achieve. I hope I've given you something that you could take with you and run with it. Okay, like the video, guys. Share. It's Sunday. You can see that I'm geared up for church, ready to go and worship. I love, and that's one of the reasons why I love the fact that I'm my own boss, because I'm able to take my Sundays and just go and worship and just be with other people of God, and just um, and just love on him, and just let that presence just be on me. Okay, so again, this is set to achieve. I hope you like, subscribe, um, join the family, share the video. You don't know, there might be somebody that who might need it desperately. And till next time, guys, God bless. Peace.